Good evening to friends from India. Good afternoon to a few friends from Europe. And of course, to my dear friend Dilip, who must have, I don't know what will be the time. Is it 5:30 in the morning, Dilip? Dilip Nagarkar? Okay, maybe he has joined but not
Yeah,
available.
5:30 in the morning. That's right. You're right.
5:30. Oh, you are early, really early riser. I must say that.
Yeah, don't
Thank
worry.
you so much. I appreciated that.
Don't worry.
So, I'm overwhelmed to see that so many people are there to listen to my journey. Before I start, I must give my tribute to Dr. Goldratt, who initiated me this journey almost about 25 years back, 24 years back specifically. I owe a lot of gratitude to my friends, some of whom them are already here. Pradeep is sitting here. Bridge is here. Quite a few of them. Apart from my friends, I must also give my gratitude to my clients. Some of them are again here. Zoru is here. Few friends from clients are also there. Seema is sitting here. Ramesh Jha is here. There are a lot of them. I mean, Dinesh Sindwani ji is also here. So I'm really overwhelmed that today on a Friday afternoon, they are wasting their time, or they don't mind spending time listening to my story. And here I'm seeing Ian. I don't know, what is the time zone in your country at the moment, Ian?
It's 12:30 in the afternoon, Ravi. So
12:30.
in the UK.
So you are somewhere in the UK time zone.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for joining. And last but not the least, the one person to whom I owe this is Rajiv Athavale. In fact, about a month back, I was doing a webinar on this concept, is profit the right measurement of making money? And he recommended, why don't I share my journey? So to be happy with all of you sharing my journey. So, okay, let me start. Why did I get into TOC? I have to give you a little history. I joined Aisha Consultancy March 93, 15th March 93. And I've been very blessed that in whatever I used to do, I've been doing it. I'm 100% there. Either it's 100% or zero. There's no in between. So after a few years while I was working at Aisha Consulting, I found out we were getting three different types of results. Somewhere we got excellent results. Client praised us, we praised the client. Second, we did not get great results, but we did not get nothing either. So client cribbed a little bit, we cribbed a little bit. Somewhere we did not get any result, any worthwhile result. Obviously, I can never be at fault. We are never at fault. Consultants are never wrong. So we blamed the client blamed us. But one thing which was there, in my mind, I was wondering, what the hell is happening? I gave off my very best in each and every assignment. I've been very lucky that whatever I do with full vigor. Never half-hearted. And I had no answer. Then a friend of mine, he lent me his copy of the book, The Goal. I was coming from Sambalpur to Havra railway station. And I was reading the book on the way. The train had arrived, but I had not finished the book. A few pages, maybe 15, 20 pages was still left over. I told the driver who had come to receive me, sorry, you have to wait. I must finish this book now. I can't wait to go to the hotel and then read it. I must finish it early morning. It was almost 5 o'clock in the morning. And that day I realized what was missing. What had happened, wherever we had by fluke found and corrected or impacted the weakest link of the organization, results happened. Wherever we just about touched it, didn't do too much, but it was not left totally blank, we got some results, so-so results. And wherever we had missed it altogether, result was obvious, no worthwhile improvement had happened. That day I remember that as if somebody had cleaned the fog in front of my glasses. Now I realize that it has to be TOC and so be it. I wrote to Dr. Goldratt that I'd like to, learn and practice TOC in this country. He responded that we have no, what you call, active interest in developing and sharing TOC in India. But if you can get a client, we'll support you. And now this is another area I must tell you. Many times we get breakthroughs and often we think it's luck. It's not. In fact, there are many silent supporters at the back who are always supporting us. But since they are not in the forefront, we think it's either luck or I have done it. So similar things happened to me in many, many ways, that I got my very first client within a few days of this comment from Dr. Goldratt that you get me a client, we'll support you. Moving further, my first assignment happened with Motherson Sumi Limited. It was a God-sent opportunity. And what was the demand from them? They said, don't sell us TOC, don't sell us goal. We want to implement goal in our organization. Wow, what more I could ask for? Anyway, we started at a very princely sum of 25,000 rupees per month. And the beauty was, just a few months before at Aisher, I was charging 1 lakh rupees per day. And here I'm ready to work for a month for Motherson Sumi Limited at 25,000 rupees for a whole damn month. And that included my to and fro expenses from my home to their office in Noida. But within a few months, I found there was no way I can go ahead. And that was my biggest learning that day. My connection at Motherson Sumi was head of the production, but he was not the decision maker of the organization. So I realized very soon, in less than 2 months' time, that we can't proceed here because unless I have connection to the decision maker in the organization who has the power to change policies and measurement of the company, at best we get very poor results, nothing significant, not satisfying results. So that way I'm very thankful for very first assignment at Motherson Sumi that I at least learned a very important lesson that unless you have a connection to the decision maker, at least consulting concepts like TOC is very difficult to implement. A few months down the road, another breakthrough happened. My friend, my classmate, Raghuhari Dalmia, he had attended one of our seminars where we mentioned that we can help turn around any company. The only requirement is no layoff. No layoff. He had a company in Rajgangpur in Orissa, small company. its turnover in the previous 6 months when we started in October 99 was about 2.25 crore. That's all. I don't know how many $1,000 it will be, or $100,000 would be there in today's dollar equivalents. Very small company. That's all I can share. And it had made a loss of 72 lakhs. 1/3 of the turnover was its loss. He said, I have a small company. There are about 200, 250 people working. We have been making losses for the last 3 years. I can't be making losses for all these years. I can support them, but how long? One day they have to be on their own. And it was a company which had been operating for more than 25, 27 years. So I said, I don't know much about the theory of constraints. I'm just a beginner. We'll get our partner, a lady called Catherine Lishman from Australia. He said, well, she's very good. She's the one who had conducted the workshop a couple of months before. But the problem is, forget about her fees. We don't even have the money to pay her airfare from Australia, Sydney to Rajgangpur. In any case, please understand, her coming from all the way from Sydney to Calcutta to Rajgangpur, how much she will understand our situation. I said, then what should we do? He said, you try. Since he knew me from 1967 as my classmate from IIT, he said, what is the worst? I can try with you. The worst thing is, I'm in any case planning to close down in 6 months' time. With your help, perhaps I'll have to close down in 3 months. So I'm ready to take a chance. This was a big breakthrough for me. We started working. And with God's grace, some luck, some good wishes from friends, that company we could turn around in first 3 months itself. I still remember this was my first real commercial success, if I can call it, real success. The turnover in the next 3 months was 2 crores and 8 lakhs with a profit of 21 lakhs as compared to the turnover of 2 crores 25 lakhs in the previous 6 months with a loss of 72. This was a big boost to my confidence that TOC works. It also works in India. In fact, at the same time, I remember a friend of mine who is a scientist. He asked me a question. Ravi, does the concepts of TOC work in India? Sandeep Chatterjee, request everyone to mute yourself. So he asked me, does the concepts of TOC work in India? I said, his background was chemistry. I said, tell me, the laws of chemistry, do they work only outside India or they work everywhere? Well, I had said in a very jovial manner, but my results, what we got the results at Hari Machines Limited in Rajgangpur, really proved that got the confidence, this TOC also works. So that was a big, big boost to my confidence. And I can tell you, if any one of you is thinking of starting as a consultant on your own, I must give you one small piece of advice at this stage. The clients are not listening to your words. They are listening to your body language. You can say, I can do this, I can do that. But if your body language does not convey the same thing, it's unlikely that you will be successful. So this thing was a great thing for me that, yes, I have achieved, I've been successful. And that was a big, I would say, stepping stone for my progress even after 24 years. Anyway, that company continued to make crossing new milestones year after year. And within a couple of years, 3-4 years perhaps, its profit was more than 3 times of its highest turnover. ever. So it was a huge thing. Then another lucky breakthrough happened. I was traveling around 2002 from Delhi to Pathankot en route to meet His Holiness Dalai Lama. And we are going as a group of 30 odd people. And my co-passenger, my captive audience, a friend called Vimal Mahindra. His companies, he was one of the owners of Indo-Asian Fuse Gears. So we started talking about what is TOC. In any case, the poor fellow had no choice but to listen to me. He was on the window seat. I was on the aisle seat of the bus. Poor fellow, no choice. Couple of hours he had to listen, nothing else. After we came back, he said, our company is in a big trouble. Why don't you help us? I said, fair enough. It had made profit for 40 odd years, 42 years, if I'm not wrong. In the 43rd or 44th year, it was having a problem. It was not making money. Not only not making money, it had a severe cash issue. Now, while it was a severe cash issue, I started analyzing and I realized they have a very different concept or problem or constraint as compared to what I had learned from Goldratt. Till then, Goldratt has told us there are only 3 possible constraints for any organization, physical constraints. Not adequate orders, not adequate capacity, manufacturing capacity, operation capacity, or not adequate raw materials. But here, situation was very different. We had orders, we had capacity, we had suppliers, but the only thing we didn't have was vitamin M. What do you mean? Money. We didn't have the money to pay to the vendors, and they're saying, sorry, we already, you have not paid us for a very long time. Now we are not ready to pay you anything more. We're not going to give you any more material unless you give us money in advance. So this is where the concept of cash constraint emerged in my mind. Okay, couple of months down the road, we had a conference in Atlanta where Dr. Goldratt was teaching us how to make mafia offer, specifically when you have a constraint in orders and so on. So there, I was just 2-3 years into TOC. I raised my hand and there were 200 people to tell him that there's a possibility of something called cash constraint. All I can tell you, if anyone who have interacted with Dr. Goldratt, he doesn't mince words. He says what he feels. He chewed me in front of 200 people that there's nothing like cash constraint. It is just supply constraint in which cash could be one of the problems. Anyway, I was a very young entrant into TOC world. So accept whatever he says. However, I tried to make sure that Indo-Asian Fuse Gears comes out of the constraint and starts making money again. We tried some very unique, I would say, so-called unheard of, abnormal stuff. Just to give you an idea, at that time they were selling their products with 60 days of credit. And often the customers, the dealers would not pay them on time. Even 60 days was not adhered to. They had an issue on cash. Welcome, Deepak. Just mute yourself. Now, I told them, is it possible to get the money faster? No way, sir. The dealer does not have any money. How can he pay you faster? I said, okay, what if we give them 50% discount, but payment immediate? His answer was, in any case, we are about to die. Why are you hastening us our death? I said, let's do it on paper. What happens if we could do it? We did some calculation on the paper and we found out that it can help us in a big way. After this, he asked me in Punjabi, are we such stupid fools that we did not know this before? I said, forget about it, fool or not, let's move on. He said, no, please tell me. And by that time, in any case, I had taken a little bit of...
И мы меняем буфер, исходя из
I had taken, let me say, Goldratt's effect had rubbed on me. I also become quite blunt. I said, now that you insist, the answer is yes, you are a stupid fool. Even after so many years, more than 20 years, he has still not forgiven me for that comment. Anyway, let's move on. Come 2005, we had a conference in Barcelona. And this time, I was sharing a few concepts on few things what we had done on cash constraint. And here, to the greatness of this man, Dr. Goldratt, he accepted publicly that cash constraints stand on its own leg. And he was wrong a few years back when he had showed me. That is the greatness of the man, that when he found that he was wrong, he had no problem in admitting publicly. So this is somewhere 2005. Now I got a request from many friends. This concept of cash constraint is very intriguing, and how can we overcome this? Some ideas. So I made my first presentation in 2006 on cash constraint at Miami in Florida. I think it was October 2006 or something like that. And thereafter, I started focusing on more and more and more on how to improve cash. Because I had realized one thing very clearly: just because a company is losing money, it does not close. Companies close down not when they're not declaring profit, but when they run out of cash. So while I'm going through on this period, another client, Sleepwell, the largest seller of foam products in the country, Sleepwell, they engaged me. And the starting point was that, look, our sales is growing, but our bottom line is not growing. What can you do about it? Within about 6-8 months' time, the company's profit doubled. So one of the senior person within the company asked me, Mr. Gilani, we have not done anything new. How come our profits have increased? My response was, Madam, there are two ways to make health. One is eat very nutritional food, do all the right exercises, sleep early, get up early, blah, 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 blah. This is one way. Another is, don't do the right things, just stop doing wrong things. Like, don't sleep late, don't eat junk food, don't exercise, but stop all wrong things, stop smoking and other stuff. So she said, yeah, that's fine, but what is the relevance to our company? I said, we just stopped some wrong practices which are going in the company, nothing more. And one of them was, I can just tell you, we were selling some products where the selling price was lower than our raw material cost. So, and what was the reason? Can anybody guess? Why we were selling at below our material cost?
Because they were not measuring they were not doing their cost accountancy, period. They were not doing their costing.
Wrong. Totally, utterly wrong. Sorry, Bharat. We have been interacting after a very long time. We can't afford to lose market share.
They thought they wouldn't be able to sell those products.
No.
Market share.
Somebody has shared in the chat window, Mohit Sharma has shared to maintain market share.
We can't go out of this market. Once we go out, we can't capture it. Because the goal of the company was to have more and more sales or market.
Ravind here. One reason I see is sales people having sales targets.
Absolutely correct.
Not the bottom line targets.
Thank you, Ravind. Not only the salespeople, even the owner. Forget about that. So something very interesting happened at that time. We said, look, if your contribution throughput is becoming negative, what is the point? It took a long time to totally eliminate it. But I'm just giving you one sample how organizations I have experienced, they do many wrong things. Don't do the right thing. At least stop doing wrong things. Okay. So moving on and further now, since Zoru has spoken, so I must share a little bit here. Zoru has a unique personality. Zoru, if possible, switch on your video. People would like to see this thing. He's a unique personality. Now, I remember I used to send him my invoice every month. And what he used to write after my invoice, in biggest bold letters, thank you. I asked him one day, what happened? Why are you writing thank you to my invoice? He said, look, we have a profit sharing arrangement. 20% was mine, 80% was his. So higher my fees, more the money he's making. How often you will find such people? Some unique practices of this gentleman. I can tell you, he will ask his people, tell me what increment you want next year, at the end of the year. Very unique practices. They would jot down. Generally, he has given more than that. Now, when somebody cribs, why have you given him more and not me? He said, well, whatever you wanted, I have given you more. What else you want? No, that fellow wanted more, I have given him more. What's your problem? Another thing which I can't forget, I want you to be aware of this, that what sort of a great personality is he. He has, a couple of years back, he shifted to a new apartment in Bombay. But unfortunately, the lane in front was very congested. So often when he's taking his car out of the complex, he will get stuck in the traffic itself. He had a unique idea. One day he got one or maybe two signposts prepared, traffic one way. Put it on both sides. Sure enough, after a few days, people started following that. And once he told me that a couple of policemen have also started taking money if somebody crossed that. So I asked him, how did you manage it? Did you take any permission? He said, who's going to check whether permission has been taken or not? Things have sorted out. So I'm just giving you the ideas that what sort of possibilities are there when you think a little beyond your assumptions.
I forgot to mention the problems with such solutions.
Yeah, okay, now that you're telling me, I have to tell you a little bit more about this experience also. They were manufacturing at one time hospital sterilizers.
No, with the no entry sign.
So you tell me then, I may not recall that. Go ahead. What are the problems?
My wife broke the no entry sign and got caught by a cop and had to pay a fine.
Wow. So this also happened. Another small thing.
Karma.
Absolutely. So coming back, I remember they were making hospital sterilizers as well as some washing equipment. They have a problem of space or constraint of space. So one day he said, look, these washing equipment, laundry equipment, they don't give me much money. I don't want to make them. I said, no problem. Stop making. He said, no, I can't stop because I have customers who have been there with us for more than 40, 50 years. Today, if I stop saying I'm not making it, it will not be okay. I said, okay, you really don't want? He said, yes. I said, fine, double the price. He said, then customers will not come. I said, then what's your problem? That's what you precisely want. He said, very good. No big idea, just double the price. After 1 month, he writes back to me, Ravi, I have a problem. I said, what happened? My orders on laundry machine have increased. So anyone who is here, every time you increase the price, the orders will come down, not necessarily for every time. Actual experience. And Dinesh Sehgal is also sitting here, who was selling that equipment from Nat Steel equipment at that time.
Yes, sir.
And so on. I mean, this happened quite a few times. We had increased our prices 2-3 times, not once, just double. So it is possible. That's all I'm just sharing. Whatever experiences one has
For
gone
calendar
through.
machine, we have increased our price 10 times.
Sorry?
For calendar machine,
Yes.
we have increased the price 10 times.
So please get in touch with Dinesh or Zoru in case you want to know how do you increase prices. Not by a few percentages. They have done it. So let me move on from here. Something interesting happened in the meantime. On one side, I was pursuing the work on cash constraint. Another side, a client of mine, he asked me, look, our people improve, but there's a little problem. After a few periods, they start slipping back. So what shall we do? So now I'm looking at what is the physical equivalent of that, that when your car is going on a slope, how do you prevent slipping back? I remember when I was parking my car, I'm talking about earlier, not the Marutis, but the Ambassador. We used to put a brick behind the car if you have to park it on a slope so that it does not roll down. What we needed was some sort of a wedge. So a thought process came that what if, and took an example from cricket, specifically one-day cricket. We used to watch a lot at that time. T20 had, I don't think so, or maybe it had just started. Said every over, shall we try to make more runs than the previous one? Slightly more. So, and I remember the company's name is Orissa Cement Limited. That's where it started. 2006-07, around that period. First, everyone agreed that let's attempt to do slightly more than previous week. Then somebody said, sir, sometime it can happen, like in cricket, that in 1 over, we made huge runs by having 2 sixes. You can't expect every over to have 2 sixes. Said, yes. Said, then what shall we do? Then somebody suggested we should make sure that every period, the moving average is going up. So that's where concept of better than before started. We call it B2B now. Every period, most of the time, the period is a week. While we are having this period of week after week, and slightly improving, no more, not more. Even if you improve 1%, we found that for most companies, if you could improve your contribution or throughput by 1% a week, 1% a week, at the end of the year, you can double your profits. There are many cases, some of them are here also, who can share that it did work. Come 2009, something very interesting happened. In this 2009, Mr. Paul is there. I saw him sometime back, TK Paul. He said,
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, sir.
I'm here.
Yeah, I remember you. He said, well, we made a loss in this year, 2009, I'm talking about. April, May 2009. Incidentally, Mr. Paul was my first immediate superior in telco way back in 1972. Today, many of my superiors are sitting here, including Mr. Bhuvan Chaturvedi, also who was my boss in telco as well as in subsequently in Aisha. Mr. Chaturvedi is here. So coming back to Sona, we started this concept that let's improve slightly more than the previous week. And the team responded beautifully. But the problem lies, as many people say, most of us do not know how to handle failure. But I'll tell you something else. Most of us also do not know how to handle our successes. So what happened? Our throughput had gone so much in due course of time, then even if the team was quite relaxing, the moving average will still go up. Because we started with a very low base, nothing else. So that's where another new concept came in, that no more from the start of the year. Now it will be the previous 13 weeks period, just previous 13 weeks. So this concept of 13 weeks moving average originated sometime in 2009, 2010, and it continues till today. And many people have asked me, why 13 weeks? What's so special? So let me give you some thoughts on that. First, 13 number is very nice. It evokes some interest. Why 13? Maybe for 10, nobody would have asked me. Maybe for 15, nobody would have asked me. For 13, many people ask me. There are two other reasons. Sometimes people say, sir, we have month ends. So in this period, if month end is not there or less month ends are there, in 13 weeks, every time, no matter whichever 13 weeks you take, there will be 3 month ends and 1 quarter end. So continuing on this, we started this that every week we must strive to make sure that our moving average of last 13 weeks go up. And this has given us huge results, because the single largest thing is if people don't own the target, thrusting them on will not help. They will give you 100 reasons why it cannot be done. So we started a lot on this. And along the way, I now see Mr. Dinesh Sindwani, another very good friend, as well as a past client from Hero Steel. He was another person who is so facilitative all the time, no matter what. It's a great thing. I can tell you, for anyone, you just be in his presence at any time, you will find your anxiety levels, your turbulence will come down. He has a great personality to bring peace to you. I don't know how does he do it, but he does great stuff. Even to a person like me who is always agitated, he could bring down my agitation level. Thank you, Dinesh. We continued in this journey. I was continuing on cash constraint, and then something happened in 2015. We were doing reasonably well. Various assignments were coming in. And then we got a very huge assignment, Jindal Steel and Power, 2015. Here, company had a turnover of 12,000 crores. We had not worked for companies beyond 1,000 crore till then. And here it was more than 10,000 crores. And it had a cash constraint. Certain interesting thing happened. I had only one condition with Mr. Jindal, the owner. There'll be no layoff. Layoff is not allowed. Come what may. Said fine. After 4 months of implementation, he told me, we cannot continue further. I said, why? Oh, sorry. He said, we have to lay off people because we are still in doldrums. He was right. We had not improved any significant amount. I must say that. I said, do one thing, don't lay off people. Please reduce the salaries of the various people to the equivalent amount, whatever you're trying to gain through layoff. He said, no, I will do both. Now I was in a dilemma what to do. It was the biggest assignment of my life. And at the same time, I would have compromised on my values. So I requested him that I should be allowed to walk off. So December 2015, that was the end of my assignment with Jindal Steel. 4.5 months back, Mr. Jindal called me. He said, look, we had made a mistake. We had a huge problem because of layoff. Please come back. Now there'll be no layoff. And since May 2016, we have been continuing. And really one feels very good. This was a company. It was on default. Its rating was default when we started. Now it is in investment grade. In the last 7 years, more than any of these ratings, it has reduced its debt about 35,000, 40,000 crore. I don't precisely know. Is there anybody from Jindal Steel here? Anybody who can share this? I don't know whether they are not there, but it is about 35, 40,000 crores. They have brought it down. There is no better success chart than repaying your, what you call, bankers. So you reduce the loans. You can reduce the loan only if you have made money. Otherwise, how can you could have done it? And another important thing we started, and that credit I must give only to Mr. Naveen Jindal. A couple of months down the road, once again, when we started, he said, we are measuring everything, but we are not measuring what is our vendor payables and overdues. When we looked at it, till then, no owner, no customer of mine had ever asked me, neither I had asked, where are my vendor overdues? Why I'm not paying them on time? First, I must know if I'm paying them on time or not. And once we started doing it, and we step by step started reducing overdues, we call it now fever, because we don't want fever. So overdues to us is a negative word. So we say it is a fever. And now we have introduced in almost all my assignments, the very first parameter which we need to see, are we in keeping our commitment to our vendors or not? Rakesh ji, jara mute ho jao. Rakesh Doshi, mute ho jao. And Ian, I believe you have observed, you had seen the presentation recently at the TOC ICU conference.
Yeah, that's right, Ravi.
Where a presentation on this aspect was made by one of the senior person of Jindal. Can you tell me, because I was not there in that presentation, what was the response? Please share a few lines if you can.
I think my response might have been slightly different, because in my career, I've worked in procurement roles and for consultancy, helping organizations manage their working capital. So this idea and topic, like you, is one that I'm more familiar with.
Yeah.
And what struck me as somebody who's worked a lot in procurement all around the world, quite a lot of time coaching and training procurement teams, is how rare that mindset is. The one that thinks about suppliers in the same way you think about your family and your employees. Mm-hmm. Procurement often uses, in my opinion, broken techniques. They use one logic to manage suppliers and a totally different logic to manage their own staff. But they're all part of your team and supply network. They both can't be right. And that's what I saw in the Jindal presentation, was much more towards this is how we treat our family and our employees, because our suppliers are the major part of our operating capability. It just happens they've got a different employer. And that's always been my mindset for procurement. So it was refreshing to see, one, companies are doing it, because I know some are, but two, that they were saying this was instrumental in what we did. You know, far too many organizations would simply, the CFO would issue an edict to the procurement teams, we need working capital, screw some more out of the suppliers. So, and my understanding, maybe you can confirm, even when you adopted things like vendor managed inventory, it was done to improve the flow of the overall system, not to throw some working capital to somebody else. Is that how you saw it?
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Ravi.
Because you were there, and what is important is we are trying to optimize some part of the whole system. Suppliers, the vendors, the customers, we are all part of the same system. When any one part tries to go at the cost of others, it's a lose-lose situation overall. So thank you very much, Ian, for sharing your views here. So coming further and further, Jindal has been doing exceedingly well. And here I must also share a small thing for all budding consultants or even consultants who are already there for a long time. There will be times when you have to, you'll have to be very upfront and not be afraid of rocking the boat. Now, in one of our conferences 4 years back, Mr. Jindal was sharing himself a little bit about me, that I don't mince words. If something is wrong, I will say as it is without worrying what happens to me thereafter. So don't be afraid to put your words in whatever you want to, whatever you feel, say it straight. I have not experienced any negative effect in the long term for that. People see, even the client would see that if you're doing for them the right thing, they are unlikely to feel offended. Unlike. That's my experience. As in between is a aside, I can just share that. Moving on. During the COVID period, I learned something new. One of our very prestigious client, I will not name it, we found in the year 2020 to 21, April 2020 to 21, something unique happened. That company it became debt-free for the first time in its entire history of 50 years. It did not borrow even 1 rupee from the bank. That was the only borrower they had. So now, but it had declared a loss. Wow. It has declared a loss, but it has repaid all its debts. How come? Can anybody guess?
They wrote off
because
inventory.
Yeah, Milan, go ahead.
Inventory,
Inventory.
reducing the
Thank
inventory.
you. Yeah. Thank you. They reduced their
outstandings as well.
Yes, they reduced their inventories and receivables very significantly. Very, very significantly. So the net result was, even though they had declared a loss, their reduction in working capital was so high that they could repay all the loans from the bank. Now, something very interesting happened in the subsequent year. April 21 to March 22, they made the highest profit ever. At the same time, now their loan from the bank had also gone to the highest level. In 1 year, they did not make profit, but had huge cash. Second year, huge profit, but negative cash. So that brought me to this thinking, is profit the right measurement of making money at all? So, in fact, we had done an hour-long webinar about a month back. If any one of you need to have, I think we have a copy. Ira, do we have a copy of that recording?
Yes, the recording is available online. We can share it with all the participants who are here today.
Anyone who wants it, either see, is it available on YouTube?
It is available on YouTube on Goldratt Bharat.
Okay. So either you can have a look at it, or you want us, just send us a mail. We'll connect you with the link. So another thing which new learning happened to me was very specific. That should we focus on profit or should we focus on cash? If possible, let's have both. I have no problem with that. But in case we have a problem, I would any day prefer cash over profit. So this is what are the, I would say, things which I remember over the last 24 years. There are so many other things which we have done, and I may not have, I mean, if I can start recounting, perhaps 24 hours will not be enough. 1 hour for each year would perhaps even that will not be enough. So I rest here. If anyone has any, please ask any question, and there are no wrong questions. There could be some stupid answer though. So feel comfortable.
Can I ask verbally?
Yes, please.
Yeah, Ravi, good evening.
Good evening, Bharat.
Happy to connect with you after so many years, please.
Yes.
My privilege, my joy. You know,
1
you
minute,
just
1 minute. Bharat is one person I have met, to the best of my knowledge, at best once or twice. But he sends regularly my birthday messages every year. Unique ability, this man. Yes, Bharatji.
Bharat. You can call me Bharat only. You don't have to call me G. Please.
Okay, Bharat.
Prabhu,
Fine.
Guru. You know, you just said cash over profit.
Yes.
What is the downside of it? And why this choice? Elaborate on that. If you can help me in understanding this concept.
Simple. Cash is a reality. Profit is a calculation. Profit doesn't tell anything. It's of no consequence.
Profit?
Is of no consequence. It's just
And what is the downside of this on the business side?
nothing. I don't see. So
But
long
like you-
if I'm improving cash period after period for the rest of my life, what do I take? What happens to any other parameter?
In terms of a matrix, you are saying.
Look, cash in the bank, if it keeps on going up, rest anything can happen to anything. What do I care for the rest of my life?
No, but it
Rakesh,
is in
please be
control.
quiet. Please mute yourself. Bharatji, Bharat. Bharat, if my cash in the bank is going up, I don't care what happens to my sales. I don't happens what happens to anything else. What do I care? Go ahead.
You gave the example of this company in COVID 2021
Yes.
just now, where
Yes.
you said they had cash, but they booked losses because they reduced their business went down. What I'm sharing is they had no debtors, they had no so which means their business went down.
Yes.
So that could be a situation there. So which is
No.
where I need to go into the depth of the understanding this concept.
Then all I'm trying to say, in the pursuit of profit, they lost sight that our working capital is ballooning up.
That I understand. Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. So look from that prism, basically, you're saying. Yeah,
Look,
go.
something else. I left Tata Motors in 1981. It was making obscene money. Let me use that word. 40 years down the road, its turnover would have gone 10, 20 times. I don't know how much more. but it's in doldrums. What do I want? Today, sales has gone up. Cash is down. The bank loans have gone up. I remember somebody had given a quote almost 20 years back. Sales is vanity, profit is sanity, cash is reality. Cash is
But-
what no company closes down because it has declared a loss. Companies close down when they run out of cash. Profit I can fudge. In fact, most companies do.
Understandable.
So profit is a calculation. The accountant tells you finance, Dr. Goldratt had shared this definition of a good finance man. Good finance man is when he's asked, how much is the profit? He says, tell me what you want it to be.
Get it? Yeah, yeah. Can I ask you a side question? Why Tata Motors is in this pursuit?
I
They
don't
are
know.
very intelligent people.
I don't think so.
They're not.
No,
They should be hiring you then.
not interested.
Okay, agreed.
Because there's no owner. I'm telling you. There are no owners. I would like to work only with the owner-driven companies. So-called professionals, they waste their time all the
Correct.
time. No
Yeah,
interest.
I agree. I fully agree with you.
To the owner, if I tell them something, if he finds value in that, he will, even at the loss of his ego, he will accept it.
Implement it.
Professional companies, they just do meetings and meetings and meetings and nothing else.
I agree with you. Fully resonate with you, sir. Prabhu, wonderful Gyan. Thank you, sir.
No. I'm just sharing from the heart. That's all.
I fully resonate with you, Ravi. I'm thankful you are helping me rejig my memory and relearning it. Thank you, sir.
Okay, more questions.
Okay, there are two questions from Rajiv Athavale. I'll just read them out. If there are a number of improvement initiatives going on when you start your initiative, how did you manage to get enough management attention and resources? Then he has also asked, how did you handle the resistance to change?
Thank you.
Raviji, can you repeat that vanity quote, please?
Yes, Bhavin.
Yeah.
Sales is vanity.
Okay.
Profit is sanity.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Cash is reality.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Bhai, for aapke liye, you remember a few years back, a movie had come.
Uh-huh.
King is king.
Yeah.
We say cash is king.
Right, sir. Right.
Okay. So,
Thank you.
Rajiv, once again, thank you very much because you are the originator of this webinar today. You had suggested that we should hold this thing. So, first of all, how do we get the decision makers time, bandwidth, etc., etc.? Correct? Is this your question?
Yes, sir. Yes, this is the question.
This is. I'll tell you.
Yes, sir, this is the question.
Thank you. You have to first help him that if we are saying, let's implement TOC, he has to see why. Somewhere you have to have a rough idea. What is the potential gain you think it is possible to have? A range. I'm telling you, today morning, we have started a new assignment with a company in Nepal. Looking at very minimal data, we could immediately tell him that it is possible to reduce his inventory by a factor of 4. Now, this person has having a problem of cash. So he can see there's a huge potential for cash release. Now what happens? He must have done, he will have many other initiatives. There's no doubt about it. And they're not wrong, but they're very incremental. So let me help you. How do I use let me say, what is it called? Comparison story. Imagine you are sent in a room with one bag, small bag. You are allowed only 1 hour there. And in that 1 hour, you can pick up, and the room has full of coins. There are copper coins, there are silver coins, and there are gold coins. You can be there exactly for 60 minutes, not a second more. Now, I ask him, what will he do? So Rajiv, if you are the owner, what would you do? You're allowed to be there only for 1 hour, and small thing, copper coins are plenty, silver coins, a few, gold coins, even lower. What would you do? I asked the owner. What do you think one should do? Help me.
Of course, first pick up as many as gold coins you can.
Thank you. The problem with this is twofold. First, there's a little doubt because gold coins are not just available immediately. You have to search for it. So first you have to find a way. First you have to assess how I'm going to find that gold coin. There must be some methodology. Otherwise, you'll be wasting all your time there. You're only allowed 60 minutes. So same thing, when we go to a client, we can immediately help him see from his own data how much is the potential possible on something. Of course, it will not be easy to start with. Like gold coin searching, you have to first find a method, correct?
Are we allowed to take as many bags out of that coin room?
No, you have only 1 bag allowed.
1 bag, okay. Others I thought we could just fill it up and sort it out when we get home.
Most companies do that. They try to fill up as much as they can, but they will only get copper and nothing else. They'll get peanuts. So coming back. First, if the gain is really large, Rajiv, and if you're speaking to the decision maker, please understand this word very carefully. If you're talking to a professional manager, he has something else. Professional manager is only worried about his key result area. Some of these things will not be pleasant to many of us, but I can tell you, most of the professional managers, what is the prime criteria for that professional manager who's not a CEO? Anybody can guess.
Maybe the salary should be safe.
No.
Everything else is fine.
No, Prasad Saab. Please switch on your video if possible. Like to share.
Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar. Now, what happens, frankly, my experience of working in about 26 years in corporate life, all top managers other than the CEO has only one goal. Most of them. How do I get my next promotion? I'm blunt. More than salary, how do I get my promotion? So what happens? You go to a top person, but not the CEO, not the decision maker. He's concerned, if I take this risky path, it may or may not work. Anything in life is risky. More risky, more possibility of plus, more possibility of downside. Both are there. So unfortunately, the professionals, they shy away from decision. I'll tell you very simple. If the company does exceedingly well, oh yes, he will get something. But God forbid, it does not work. Whose neck will be on the chopper? Clear? Now, second question of Rajiv, how do we handle resistance to change? Rajiv, I don't have a perfect answer on this, but one thing is there. People do take big jump, big risk, provided they see a huge potential. Is this possible? Please, yeah. Go ahead, Rajiv, respond. I'm waiting for your response, please. I want a dialogue, not just a responding one-on-one.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you only.
I'm so sorry. My network had gone down.
Sure,
I tried a couple of times and I just joined on my phone and I heard you asking me this question. So I'm sorry. I'll go through your recording and I'm sorry. I will have to take it up offline.
Okay.
I'm really sorry.
I have no problem. Somebody is talking about manpower optimization. This is my favorite topic. Please speak up.
Yeah, this is from Sachin Sharma. Sachin, could you unmute yourself and speak?
Yeah, Mr. Gilani, good evening. So just asking manpower optimization, yes, we do at our company level. And sometimes say waste reduction. Other than this, I just like to ask, what are the other lever
First of
we should
all,
work on?
forget about these two.
Okay. I'm saying the same thing. Other than this, what are the other levers where we should work on?
Forget about it. So first, forget about it. Tell me a little bit about your company, how long you have been working there, if you want to share.
Yeah, sure. See, total I have 20 years of experience. Right now, currently, I'm working with a company called BMJ as a consultant.
Okay.
From the last 3 years. I'm taking example from a company called Thomson Press, where I've worked for 10 years. Yeah.
Okay. You have been working with Thomson Press?
Not now. I left it. Yeah.
Okay. See, this company where you have done manpower optimization, what is the net impact on the bottom line? Bottom line is cash in the bank. Has it gone up, gone down, remained same? I don't know. Please tell me.
See, at that time, because I was working under my boss, so he told, yes, it has improved by somewhere around 2%. It has impacted bottom line.
I don't understand the word bottom line. Tell me, did the cash improve?
I really don't know.
You don't know. That's the first thing. The most stupid thing ever is to use this word manpower optimization. Most stupid thing. Most companies do. Well, there's no shortage of stupid people in the world. Yes, I'm very, let me say, upfront. Now, small thing, I must bring out this very paragraph. Why do we do manpower optimization? To reduce a few people, to save cost, and to increase profit. But what you don't understand, what is the impact elsewhere because of this reduction in manpower? Your inventory goes up, WIP specifically goes up, very specifically. We are not even measuring that, the impact of that. So net result is most companies suffer on account of this. Number one. Number two, which is my favorite subject, is optimization. What is the meaning of optimization? Can you explain me, please? Optimization, I'm asking. I'm not asking about manpower optimization.
Yeah, but I know that means effective utilization of all 4 resources. That
no,
is,
I don't understand the word effective. I don't understand. Please help me. What is the meaning of optimization? I'm just looking at this word. Okay, I'll give you the dictionary definition if you don't know. The one best available among all the viable options. Correct? Correct? So let me ask you a question. Unmute yourself now.
Yeah.
Are you married?
Yes.
Choosing a life partner is one of the most important decisions of your life. Am I right?
Right. Absolutely.
Did you optimize your choosing of your life partner?
No.
So think about it. If such an important decision, one of the most important decisions in life is to have the right life partner. We don't optimize there. You meet one, you meet two, you consider another one, maybe 5, 10, 15, 20 perhaps. And then you say, it's okay. It's good enough. Please mark my words, good enough. So if the most important decision of our life we can have with a concept called good enough, why do we want to optimize much lesser things? Number one. Number two, can you really optimize? Is it theoretically possible? Help me, Sachin, unmute yourself.
I would say practically, yes, we have been able to optimize some guys. Like,
You're fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself.
Give me 1 minute. I'm just saying we never say we will optimize one person, but we say we will try to optimize the activity. And if I've been able to say save 8 hours, then I can say we will shift that particular guy to another department. That's how we define this manpower optimization.
How do you know that you could not have saved 9 hours? How do you know you could not have saved 9.5 hours?
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. I'm
not optimized.
See,
you're not optimized.
See, I'm saying as soon as I get to know I'm reached at 8 hours, then I say yes, one person can be optimized. I'm just saying that. Once I've been able to say next 4 hours, then yes, then I will try to balance the activity with another man so that maybe next time I can work on.
Please, you're debating. Optimization is the best possible alternative among all the where. How do you know all the best possible? You don't even know all possible. You don't know. Because by the time you have found a solution, the environment has changed. Environment does not remain constant. What you have been actually doing, what you're saying is better than before. I have no problem.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's better than before.
Please use the words carefully. Optimization means I'm making it, because many times we use this word inadvertently, loosely. Please stop doing it. Now my next question is, what's the big deal? You have picked up a few copper coins here and there and feel very great about it. Yeah, Zoru, go ahead.
May I add to this?
Come on.
The question which was asked, or the statement was made, if I heard correctly, that something had improved by 2%. Is that, did I hear that correctly?
That's what I also heard.
Okay, so I don't know what that something was, but I can assure you when it is 2%, it is, the data would be incorrect. It would be negative and window dress to show a 2% increase. That's the only way you get a 2% increase.
I can tell you a similar thing. When you see very small increase, a very small profit in any company's balance sheet, be assured it is fudged. That is accounting, what you call creativity.
Window dressing.
Yes, you use the polite words, so I'm using a little bit more straightforward words. So coming back.
If it's not 200% more, it's not worth looking into.
Fine, that's what we had got it. Zoru, honestly, I can show your letter, but I remember still a little bit. How much profit in your company had increased when we were working together? Whatever you remember.
Well, we made enough money to repay our bank loan. So that was more than enough profit.
Okay. I still remember you mentioned 400%.
Percentage, I don't remember.
Yeah, I have seen that it's 96% increase in throughput and 400% increase in profit.
It's there on our website also. We have kept it very boldly there. Okay. Somebody has a question on owner driven. I could quickly see it. Ira, can you read it?
Yeah, it's not clear. Pritesh, can you share your question? I'll read it out, but it's better if you speak it up. In an owner driven company, if they're not sharing cash data with consultant, is it concerning? Yeah, Pritesh, can you speak up? Because the question is not very clear.
Pritesh?
Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Please, yes, go ahead.
So my question is, in a owner-driven company, if they are not sharing with us the cash data, is it concerning? So
it depends. What was your contract with them?
So my contract is to improve production.
Fine.
But
They're not. So the problem lies right up front. If you want to improve production, they want to improve production. What's the problem? Go ahead and do it. Nothing wrong.
Okay.
They want to improve production. You want to improve. You know how to improve production. Nothing wrong. However, if I were you, I would not do that thing. I have refused very large companies assignment. I can also say one large company, way back in 2013, they wanted me to improve the worker productivity of one particular area of their company. And as I asked them why, they said, that is our bottleneck. That's the exact word they used. I said, okay. So we want to improve their productivity. So I'm saying exact wordings, hence I'm sharing this. I said, Mr. Mahesh Sharma, how about improving your productivity? Why are you hell-bent on improving the productivity of some workers in one area, which you call it bottleneck? You may be right, but don't you think that your productivity should also go up? Are you clear, Pritish?
Yes.
So if I were you, when somebody says, and it happened to me, say, I want to improve production. I said, why? Oh, if my production goes up, my sale will go up. I said, great. Then what will happen? My profit will go up. These are the typical questions. I said, fine. Then why are you hell-bent on production? You ask straight away, no, help me improve my profit. We'll work together. Pritish, is this clear?
Yes.
Deepak?
Yeah.
I saw your hand. Go ahead.
I'm in transit, so I hope my signal is clear. But I just wanted to kind of share with the community about what I have known Ravi to be. And if there is Mr. Bharat TOC, it is my friend Ravi Gilani. And I say that because there are two things that TOC absolutely uniquely differentiates itself with. One is common sense, which also means no nonsense. And the second one is focus, focus, focus. And we will find, and everybody who's dealt with Ravi will be able to stand for both these qualities being absolutely in his DNA through and through. So
thank you, Deepak.
That's the first observation I wanted to make. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry. Yeah. You know, I don't know if Ravi will remember. Sorry. No, I said, I remember when you started off with your journey, I also I was in a professional company. So a lot of what you're saying applies there. And I started my journey when you sold the TOC satellite program, because that you thought was the best way. And that is still my priceless possession, keeping those 8 books that I got from you.
Thank you.
Now I'll take the temerity of asking a question to you, Ravi. On this.
No, I have to respond to another question beforehand.
Okay, sure.
See, I'll give you a quick few questions. Any consultant who wants to do that, I want to give you a few questions. First, when client says, typical, I'll take about production. So I can ask the question, what do you want to improve? Let's say production. Your next question should be why? Why do you want to improve production? Oh, what do you mean production? If I can increase production, efficiency, productivity, blah, 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 my sales will go up. Fine. Why do you want to increase sales? Oh, my profit will go up. At this stage, because the customer may not be clear about cash, please don't proceed to cash. Said, okay. So basically, you want to improve profit through production increase, correct? Pritesh, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
So what happens, you have to bring it to a higher level. Now, production increase could be one possibility, but that's not the only possibility. Are you clear, Pritesh?
Yes.
Now, the moment you bring him to a profit angle, at least tangible, measurable, tangible, preferably in financial angle, it has the advantage. First, it gets his attention. If the profit is huge, he will give you two things. One.
Sir, could you please repeat the question? Sorry, could you repeat your statement, last one? I just missed out.
If the profit is huge, there's a potential that you will get his time and also somewhat more money. Clear?
Yes.
So please look from that angle. Don't jump just because somebody has said do X and you run after doing that. Come on. Find out whether does he really need it. Many times I have refused assignment because it could have created a problem subsequently to them. Actual example. Way back around 2006-07, Delhi airport, I was contacted by its chairman. They said, we want to remove the congestion in front of the Delhi airport. Now, what happens if the congestion in front of the Delhi airport is removed? Where do you think the more people will get congested now? Any idea?
Inside.
At some other spot.
That will be even worse.
Inside.
That will be worse. I said, if you want me to reduce the delays of your flights at Delhi airport, I'm willing to help. You are asking me to eliminate only one small portion, eliminate the delays in front of the airport. That's counterproductive. I will not do it. You know, it's like this. You got a small snake. I'm just taking a hypothetical example under the carpet. You press it and you make what you call the carpet flat. What happens? Where does the snake go? Somewhere else. One thing which you'll have to look at it. I mean, should we take every assignment whosoever throws at us? Or should we pick and choose?
Always book pick and choose, sir.
Pick and choose. Now, it's not
Always.
easy. I understand. It's not easy. I agree. But then, as Dr. Goldratt said, do you want a meaningful life or easy life? Yeah, Rajiv.
Yeah, just I wanted, what you're saying reminded me of a story that you told in one of your webinars. And I think at this point, it would be appropriate to repeat it. Once you are asked to improve the quality and you are asked the top management, can you give me 4 days? So, do you recall that story or I should recite
it? Even though the time is limited, I can just share it.
It would be interesting to hear it from you.
Okay. Long time back, before I got into TOC, around 96, I was invited by the top management of RINL. I was invited by the managing director, Mr. J. Mehra. I was meeting the board. Say, so what do you want? Oh, we want to implement TQM. Why? We want to improve quality. Why? Oh, what do you mean why? Quality, it's a question of survival. Without quality, we can't survive. 96, I'm talking to the board of RINL. Said, fine, we go further. I said, okay, what will you provide for it? Said, how much money you want? I said, money I will take, no issue. But more than money, tell me how much time will you provide me? Said, how much time you need it? I said, 4 days. Oh, 4 days a year, no issue whatsoever. Said, sorry, I'm not talking of 4 days a year. I'm talking about 4 days a month. 4 days a month, no way we can give it to you. I told them that while I was starting the question, I said, please be careful while responding because I'm going to trick you. A few minutes back, you told me you want to improve quality because it's a question of survival. Now you cannot give me out of 30 days, 4 days. So what is more important than your survival? Please guide. Either you are not serious at that time or you're not understanding the implication now. And that was the end of our dialogue. Nothing happened thereafter. I walked off. Thank you very much. I've never been there again.
Okay, thanks, Ravi. It is a really interesting story and an eye-opener. People just go on taking the assignment and then repent.
See, I would rather have a successful assignment rather than a failed or partially so-so assignment. I don't want it. At least if I don't have it, I'm quite happy. It's almost 7:30 now.
Good evening, sir. Can I ask just a side question?
Last question then, because it's already 7:30.
Okay, sir. Sir, you visited our plant, Jindal Steel and Power Limited, Angul, 1 month before, I think.
2 months
and
back.
Yes, sir. And you have played one movie, sir, which was just so motivational. So can you just tell that movie name, sir, please?
Oh, it's available on the YouTube, Peaceful Warrior.
Peaceful Warrior. Yes, thank you.
Yes. I've
Thank
shown
you,
this movie over 200 times to my clients. 200 times, over 200.
Yes, sir. Such a powerful movie that was, sir.
Most welcome. Everyone can see it's available on YouTube, free.
Sir, one thing, just one more question, sir. Sir, currently I am working in PPC department, production planning and marketing coordination. My main duty is to release the schedule after casting to making plates. So, sir, main thing is that I'm currently working in plate mill. So their main plate mill main target is to increase the production, but we are failed to deliver the orders on time. So what is more concerned, sir? Is on-time delivery or production?
So what is the assumption? If I have to do on-time production, then my delivery has to come down. I don't buy that. No, it's possible to achieve both.
But sometimes we fail to deliver on time, sir.
Of course, you are not doing many right things now. Who is saying that you're doing everything right? That is the issue.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, last. I think Ranjit has raised this point. I can't say no to him. So Ranjit, go ahead.
So, boss, and this is not a question for you. This is a question for the 63 participants who are there right now.
Okay.
And I'm serious about it. And I'm saying that can we all influence and ensure that Mr. Gilani and TOC get into the Prime Minister's office? And so many things are happening in a structured manner, whether it is environment or it is congestion. I'm not talking about the political parts of it, whether it is manufacturing, etc., etc. And if we can get a TOC implementation drive, at least an understanding, right up to the Prime Minister, I think we'll do a great service to our country.
Thank you, Ranjit, for your wish. I don't know anyway. I don't know. I'm not saying it is not possible to introduce TOC to Prime Minister Modi. I don't know. But maybe somebody has an idea. Please, it will be great if you can share something. How is
Yes,
it possible
I
to do?
really feel so, because as a country, we are ready for takeoff. We are taking off right now. So why not take off with all the best practices that are available? And this is a best practice which enables us to get into a next practice, right?
Ranjit, may I say, take a minute, Ravi?
Go ahead, Pradeep. All yours.
Nice question from Ranjit. And I think if you look at the core value of the Prime Minister's campaign to change India, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, and I analyze that CRT of India, that is the injunction which fits very well. So a lot of things Prime Minister is doing are TOC related. Now he is not calling it TOC.
Thank you, Pradeep.
Just a small, I would like to add to the
close
point
now.
what sir mentioned about entering the Prime Minister office. In my last company, a few years back, I think it was when BJP had come to the power. We had initiated this because we thought that CCPM should be introduced, and we had started from Gujarat and from Rajasthan, but that was a failure. And just because the management, the chairman of Fleet Card Filters, I was previously in that, the chairman had met the chief ministers and they had tried to introduce CCPM at the state level, but due to political influences that could not be successful. So that was a U-turn.
Thank you. Raghavendra ji, you want to share something?
Yeah,
Sir,
I think
I have
after this we will
been
close.
familiar with the Z program of the Prime Minister, which I think most of you must be aware of, for improving the operation excellence of the industry. Like our friend said, I think giving input to the Prime Minister and include TOC also as a part of Z program would be really great, because it has got only TPM, TQM and TPS as the inputs in that program. I think involving TOC principles also in that would be a really great advantage to the industry.
Thank you. Okay, thanks for your suggestions. It's already 5 minutes beyond time, so I don't want to take on a Friday afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us.